if you're married, you understand the concept of more money, less problems, which translates to happy wife, happy life, which translates to more money means she lives more lavishly. Like, one thing that I noticed is, like, when over the pandemic, I was doing a bunch of Zoom interviews and what have you. And my wife was in the background as I was doing the Zoom interviews. And every time that someone's like, oh, well, we can give you 33 grand, she's like, she would go over and she would be like, no. It was like as if she was like negotiating something. Like, you know how like baseball, like GMs, they negotiate which player they want the most, who's more valuable, who wants less money. Well, to me, she was like, no, go for more money. And I know that she wants me to go for more money because she wants the lavish lifestyle, not because she wants she wants me to be personally happy. One of the things I noticed is like when I had like one interview where they're like, okay, looking at your degrees and stuff like that, I think we're going to be able to give you this much money an hour. And she was like, ask them how much. Ask them. And I was like, just ballpark this. How much money would I be getting? Like, how much would I be getting paid? And they're like, well, based off your qualifications, you would get $24 an hour. And I know that my wife, she was like looking at her boobs at this time. She was looking in the mirror at her lips, which translates to she wants bigger tits and bigger lips. And so the more money translates to she's going to get that. I love my wife a lot. There's one thing that I absolutely admire about her is her honesty. For example, there was one time she was like, hey, I want you to do this Facebook market thing for me. Meaning they're going to tell you where they want you to meet them. You're going to give our items to them and then you're going to get money. Or they're going to give you their items and then you're going to give them the money. It basically pans out to, hey, if you get shot, at least it was only for a $5 countertop. Or, hey, if you get shot, at least it was for like a little swan figurine that looks good on the coffee table that we might see every time that we eat at the coffee table, which isn't often. Or, hey, this is going to look like, if you get shot, no harm, no foul. At least it was a $3 table that would have looked good to hold all of our bills on, and we're never going to actually technically ever see, the top of that table. It's just ridiculous. I love my wife a lot. When I do something, when I make a mistake, she automatically notices it, which is great because it keeps me honest. When she makes a mistake, I just say, hey babe, you did the best that you could. But when I make a mistake, she lets me know about it. But I also have learned from those mistakes. Like, for example, we have a roommate who happens to be a female. And anytime she's in the kitchen, I can't be in the kitchen. But anytime my wife is in the kitchen with her, it's okay. It balances out. There was one night where I had in the back of my mind that I was going to do this really nice thing. And I said, guess what, babe? I'm going to do the dishes tonight. And apparently she didn't hear me. Well, apparently her friend was in the kitchen at the same time as I was. And we were doing dishes. And she was like, after dinner, and after we had gotten done and everything settled, we took our dogs for a walk. And she said, hey, I just kind of happened to notice that you were in the kitchen doing dishes with Eve. And I was like, yeah, that's I had it in my mind that I wanted to do dishes to get that taken care of because I want you to have an easier night, And she's like, yeah, well, I'm just going to say that's a little sketch. And I was like, how is that sketch when I had that in my mind to do that? She's like, because whenever I want you to do dishes, you don't be doing dishes. And I was like, well, I did dishes that one time, at Christmas. She's like, well, ever since we moved into our new place at the village, you haven't been wanting to do dishes. And I'm like, babe, what are you talking about? On my days off, I do dishes. And she's like, I'm just saying. And I'm basically saying at this point right now, I have to basically get Judge Judy to kind of filter out what the hell is going on here because I'm not understanding it. I don't feel like I created, that was an offense, So every time now that I go in there and do dishes, I'm like, hey babe, I'm in the dishes. I'm doing the dishes alone. I'm in the kitchen doing dishes alone, just letting you know. And sometimes I'll even film myself. And then if I'm like doing dishes, like I'll like FaceTime her so that if like somebody, if her, you know, our roommate is home and Eve happens to cross into the kitchen, I'll be like, hey babe, just saying, you know, hey Eve, how's it going? I know that you're in the kitchen for only 3.5 seconds and you're trying to get cereal and pour milk into your cereal bowl with the cereal, and then you're going to leave here in a few, but I'm just letting Michelle know that, you know, that's what's going on. But overall, I love my wife no matter what. No matter what. Even if she gets on OnlyFans and she looks so fuckable to a million different dudes, as long as she's bringing us in the money, because I like to live not so lavishly, but, you know, to the point where the pandemic has taken her job, so now she wants to do OnlyFans, and that's a second job. And if she gets famous off of that, fuck yeah, we're going to be rolling in the dough, because, you know, I also want big tits and big lips. You know what I mean? I mean, come on.